So we have plagiarism, right? That's the one we all know and love and we talk about all the time. But there's also things like unauthorized use or possession of materials or resources, unauthorized collaboration or consultation. That is one that we see in our office more than probably any other one, is unauthorized collaboration or consultation. It is when students may be working together on an assignment that they should be doing individually. Like they take an exam together, or they work on homework together when they should be doing it on their own. So that's something that we see reports for our office. Some of the other ones, like unauthorized resubmission, facilitation of academic misconduct, those are less likely and they happen less, but they still happen. So I encourage you to take some time before your class starts, really go look at the student code of conduct, look at the academic integrity policy, and kind of understand what those things mean as you go into your classrooms. So I have a video here. I don't know if it'll play, but I'm gonna try. So you get to hear me talk in person, and you get to hear me talk on a video.
Here at Wichita State University, we take academic integrity very seriously. Today, we're going to be talking about common academic integrity violations, what happens if an academic integrity violation occurs, and what even is academic integrity. My name is Liz Thornton, and I am the Student Conduct Coordinator, and I work in the Office of Student Conduct and Community Standards. You may be asking yourself,
Whoa, Miss Liz. What even is academic integrity?
Students are expected to complete independent work in all of their academic activity. There are 8 different categories of academic integrity here at Wichita State University, one of the most common being plagiarism. Plagiarism is when you are using words that are not necessarily your own. They can be from an internet source, from a friend, or from anybody else, and you are passing them off as your own. But, like I said, there are 8 other categories of academic integrity violations here at the university. The second most common violation that we see here in my office is unauthorized collaboration or consultation, also known as collusion. This is when a student is working with a group of friends, peers, classmates, anybody else, even people from outside of the university, and they are working to complete their homework that is not on their own. Like I said earlier, you as a student are expected to complete independent work unless specified by your instructor. So, if your instructor says, do this on your own, you should probably complete it on your own. There are many other forms of academic dishonesty, and I could go on and on in detail about, but I trust you to go and look at our SCCS website. Regulations will look a little different in each of your classes. So the first thing that I want you to know is please check your syllabus. Each of your instructors are required to have an academic integrity section in their syllabus, but many of them will add more details into what their expectations of you are in their course to that syllabus. They're gonna look different for every class, so please make sure you check that. There are so many resources for you as a student to get to utilize while you're here on our campus before you resort to using dishonest behavior. If you are struggling in a course, if you need a tutor, or if you are just looking for some tips on how to study, please reach out to the Shocker Learning Center. They are here to help you and they are here to help you be successful. I want you to know that even though academic integrity can seem very scary and very serious, that there are people here who want to help you and who want to help you be successful. So please do not be afraid to reach out to your instructors, other staff, your success coaches, or even SCCS, because we are here to help you navigate academic integrity and your time here as a student. We are here to make sure that you are successful and you can reach your brightest potential. Go Sharks!
Please don't play it. Okay. So that is a fun little video that we made last year that you as a GTA get to utilize. It is on our website, and I have a link here later in the presentation, and you can use that, show it to your classes. That is what it's there for. I would love if every single class that you get to talk to, you're like, hey, watch this video. It's super easy. It's 3 minutes. And it doesn't take up a lot of your time, especially maybe on syllabus day. Maybe you talk to your lead professor and you're like, can we show this video? Because I think it will really help students understand what academic integrity is going into our course. So that is there for you. Please use it. I don't want to be the only one who shows my video when I could just explain it. So that is resource number 1 for you as a GTA. You get a cool little video with my face on it. So here is the academic integrity process. So you have suspicions that something dishonest is happening in your class. You suspect academic misconduct has occurred, and we encourage instructors to have a conversation with your student. So first thing that you do is you're going to ask your student, okay, what happened? Tell me what happened. Why does your source, why does your paper exactly word for word match this paper that I found on the internet? And maybe they'll have a conversation with you. They'll tell you something that happened, and that maybe you still report it to academic integrity, but you also report that student to the care team. Because maybe something else happened, and they need more help than just academic help. You as the instructor can assign a grade-related sanction. Please reach out to your head professors as you're doing this. They can help you fill out these forms and help you work through this process as well. So you can assign a grade-related sanction for the assignment that you are reporting. So say it's a homework assignment and the student worked with their classmate on completing it. So you're saying, okay, these two students worked together. I'm going to give them a 0 on this assignment. I want to assign a 0 on this assignment because of academic dishonesty. You can absolutely do that. So that's a reduced or failing grade on the assignment, test, or quiz. So maybe they cheated on the test. You can give them a 0 on the test. You can reduce or a failing grade in the course. This is for more serious accusations of academic misconduct. Maybe it was a big final project or anything like that, and you believe that they should fail the course because of their academic misconduct. That's something that you can do. Again, talk to your professors. They'll be able to help you kind of navigate what your outcomes should be for each student. And then an assignment resubmission. Maybe you just want them to resubmit it. Maybe you're just like, okay, I want it noted that we have submitted it, but you can resubmit it and maybe get 50% credit. That's absolutely something you can do. But that is about the range that you can put within the form that you fill out. Kyle, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I would say the most important thing is please follow your syllabus.
Yeah,
whatever your syllabus states, follow that. So if your syllabus says for a first-time offense, they're getting a failing grade on the assignment, test, quiz, then that's the first-time offense. If it says for a second-time offense, they're failing the course, then please follow that.
Absolutely, and I talk about that later on the next slide. So follow your syllabus. Your syllabus will say things. If your syllabus doesn't say anything, if it just has the regular standard university academic integrity policy in it, I encourage you to add a section, talk to someone and be like, okay, I want to add that the first time violation is a 0 on the assignment, second is an F in the course, because that will really help clear it up for your students. So after you have assigned that grade-related sanction, you submit a report to me. Easy peasy. This report will take you, if you have already had a conversation with your student, you've already assigned a grade-related sanction, it should take you about 5 to 7 minutes to submit this form. It is very easy. After you submit that form, I'm going to meet with the student. We're going to talk about everything that you wrote in your report and that you submitted to me. I want to make this very clear. I read word for word the report that you submit to me. So please don't say mean or rude things about your students in the report, because I have to sit there and read word for word what you put in that report. So please make it respectful, make sure it's, clean, use nice language and things like that, because it gets a little dicey for me when I get to have some pretty awkward conversations sometimes. And so the student will then, after they meet, I read your report that you wrote word for word, they get to decide how they want to continue on throughout the academic integrity process. So that's where we bring up this lovely little flow chart. I call it a choose your own adventure chart. So when we are going through this process, do I have a lead with a little pointer thing? Oh, no, okay. So I'm gonna do this awkward thing where I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna point to everything for you. So, all this top part is what you did. You submitted your report, you talked to your student, it came to me. This is where I come in, right here. I am now meeting with your student, right? We are now in their informational meeting. If you, as a student, get reported for academic misconduct, you also get to go through this process with me. So, informational meeting, you get to come, you get to talk to me, or I talk to your student about what you wrote. Your student can choose 1 to 2 things. can say, yeah, I did that. My professor and I, we already talked about it. I feel really bad for what I did. I accept the 0 on my assignment, and I accept that I'm in violation, okay? That's the accept responsibility and the sanctions, informal resolution. I send you a letter saying that's what the student did. Boom, 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 done. Check. Ding. Or the student can say, absolutely not, I didn't do this. I don't know why my instructor is reporting me. I don't know what happened. I didn't do this. That is absolutely their right. That's absolutely your right as a student to say that. You would then go to what's called a formal resolution. I see one of my board members in here, and she's very familiar with this process. Our formal resolution is where the student would go to what's called our Academic Integrity Committee. Within that committee, they get to submit evidence, have witnesses, and things like that as to show why they are not in violation. I'm going to ask you to come to this. I'm going to be like, hey, I need you to come. We can talk about it. You don't have to be there. It is requested that you are present for the hearing, but if you don't want to come, that's totally up to you. I will say it is typically better if you come. It gives a lot more context for the committee. After we've gone to the committee, they make a decision and an outcome is issued. Again, we'll just send you an email and be like, this is what was decided. Did I miss anything on my notes? No. All of my communication will come from Maxient. So it won't just come from my email, it won't just like, Liz Thornton sent you an email. It'll say CC from Maxient, so it may look a little different. Please read those. They are not spam. Please read them. I promise you, you're gonna wanna know what's in those letters. Kyle kind of brought this up earlier. I need to get farther away from the screen because I can't see as I talk. What are your departmental policies? And you should know that because you're going into your departments, you're gonna be a representative of your department, you should know your departmental policies. So, first things first, Kyle talked about this and I'm gonna talk about it again. Know your syllabus. Understand that the statement in your syllabus regarding academic integrity is what my office and what the Academic Integrity Committee goes off of as we are helping make decisions for cases. So if you have nothing in there except for the regular departmental policy or the university policy, and you're like, I'm gonna fail this student because this is the 7th time that they've cheated in my class, I have nothing to go off of. I have nothing to go off of that is a standard that you have followed. I have nothing to go off of that you have even reported this student 7 times before that. So please read your syllabus. If your syllabus is not clear, please talk to somebody and see if you can make it clearer. What is your departmental AI policies? Some departments, some colleges have their own AI policies that they follow parallel to our policy. So it could be, trying to think of one. I know engineering has a very in-depth AI policy within their own college. So you should read that, you should know it, because your students are gonna ask you questions once you report them and once you have that conversation with them. I follow the Code of Conduct, Policy 8.05, and the Academic Integrity Policy, which is 2.17. Those are what we follow. You have the hard job of having to know my policy and your departmental policy. So I encourage you to look at those. You don't have to memorize them, you don't have to know them word for word, but it may be helpful when you're trying to have conversations with students. So, I've told you a whole lot of things about what academic integrity is, that you should report, all of that. Now you're like, Liz, where do I even go to report? Well, you go to this lovely little link that I put up here. I suggest that you pull out those lovely little smartphones that I know you all have and you take a picture of this slide. Because this is the link to the report, direct link to the academic integrity report, as well as steps of what you're going to need as you're going into that report. So you're going to need to, what is your information? I hope you know your name, your email address, and what department you represent. You know. Who is the involved party? You need to know the student's name and their ID, their student ID. Nature of behavior. Is it plagiarism? Is it collaboration? What is it? What is the description of the incident? Please don't just put student cheated on exam. Okay? You can put that. That is a description of the event. But if you don't submit other things with that, and I just have to say, your instructor said you cheated on the exam, can be really hard for us to have that conversation. So really give me an in-depth report of what happened and how you came to find that an academic integrity violation even occurred. Discussion with the student. Please, if you do not take anything else away from what I talked about today, talk to your students. Talk to them. There are things going on in their lives, and maybe there's something that, a miscommunication that happened before, that you can resolve before you have to send it to me. Or maybe it just helps you build rapport with your students. Because it is very hard for me to have a good and open conversation with a student when they have to come to my office, because they walk in and they go, I don't even know who's reporting me, I don't know what class this is, but why am I here? So they can't have a constructive conversation. I can't help them learn if they don't know why they're there. So please talk to them. Tell them why you're reporting it. Still report it, even after you talk to them. But if you have that conversation with them, they are gonna have a better understanding, and they are more likely gonna change their behavior moving forward. What are your outcomes, your consequences? And so what is that grade-related sanction that you want? And then supporting documents. These are very, very important. So that's your syllabus. Please always attach your syllabus when you are submitting a student for academic integrity. Yes, Kyle?
Yeah, so additionally, if you don't want to type in this really long link, if you just go to the conduct website, that link exists.
Yes, it does. You can go to how I find it, because I work there and I have them all bookmarked, but this is how I find it, is I Google student conduct reported at Wichita State. That's all and then my page pops up and I know where to report things. But that is how I find it. So you always want to submit your syllabus. All documents that you say have been academically dishonest. So submit the exam. Submit the other documentation that the students have submitted. Any communication that you've had with your student, if it's over email, submit me those emails. Okay, so I have like 2 minutes maybe. What questions do you have about academic integrity? Do you have any? I hope you do.
This, the next session is in 10 minutes.
Oh.
So you can have up to 5 minutes. So
Okay.
we can have a break.
So we've got some time. So if you have questions, please ask them. If you don't have questions, what's up?
I've heard that academic integrity, like hearings and stuff, like no matter the outcome, they go on the record, and
So they go on your educational record. Your educational record is different than your transcripts. So your educational record is held within student conduct and community standards. So that's just us, we hold it. And it really only comes up if they're doing a conduct background check. So if you're applying for jobs that require you to have a conduct background check, that is the only time a violation will come up. Doesn't affect your status as a student, doesn't affect your transcripts. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah.
Do you recommend, if we suspect that we have a meeting, should you pull in another department chair or somebody, or is it better to have a one-on-one with the student?
So I think that's really up to you. I think if you feel confident having a conversation with a student about what may have happened, absolutely. Just have that conversation with them. But if you're not really sure and you really think you may need some support in making sure you understand the policies, bring in somebody else, bring in someone to help you. It is always my preferred option to have a one-on-one conversation with a student. They're gonna feel less attacked and they're gonna feel more like they can actually speak their truth. And so that's my thoughts.